Okay, so let's start off with situation number 1. In figure A, the homogeneous rod of constant cross-section is attached to unyielding supports. If in figure B, a homogeneous bar with cross-sectional area of 600 millimeters squared is attached to rigid supports. The bar carries the axial loads P1 is equal to 20 kilonewtons and P2 is equal to 60 kilonewtons as shown. So we have here two figures, figure A, figure B. Okay. So for number 1, in figure A, which of the following calculates the reaction R1? So what is the reaction R1? So if you would look at the bar, it is only subject to a single force, no? Force P. Okay, and it is to the right. So, ibig sabihin, the reactions here should resist that force which is to the right. So, meaning it is safe to assume that the reactions will be to the left. Okay? So, now, to calculate the reactions, all we have to do is to take summation of forces. Let's say summation of forces along x is equal to 0, and that would give us R1 plus R2 is equal to P. Diba? And basically, it tells us also that R2 will be equal to P minus R1. And likewise, if you want to solve for R1, that's going to be P minus R2. But anyway, unfortunately for our equilibrium equations, we can only use this one. We cannot use summation of forces y because there are no forces acting along the y-axis. And likewise, we cannot apply summation of moment because all of the forces are concurrent and collinear. Meaning, hindi na or wala na tayong makukuha na equations from equilibrium conditions. So dito na ngayon papasok yung compatibility. So the compatibility equation will come from the um, deformation or the geometry of our deformation. In this case, it's safe to say that the total deformation of this bar would be equal to 0, no? Kasi unyielding daw yung support. So kahit pa magkaroon ng deformation dito, no? At the end, ang total nun will become 0. Now, here's the thing about deformation. We know that the deformation, no? Deformation. And I'm talking about axial deformation. Okay, so di ba ang formula natin for axial deformation is PL over AE? Okay? So, before we can use this formula, there were three assumptions made here, no? Yung derivation po nitong formulang to ay nagmula sa tatlong assumptions, no? Yung unang assumption is dapat yung axial force is constant. Okay? Second assumption ay it is prismatic yung section natin. Pag sinabing prismatic, ibig sabihin yung cross-sectional area is constant. Okay, constant. And lastly, the deformation is within the elastic region. So, ibig sabihin, the deformation here would be temporary, no? Hindi siya permanent deformation. Okay, so when you unload the structure, babalik siya sa original niya na shape. Okay? So, actually, ang pinaka-importante dito sa tatlo, by the way, yung prismatic na satisfy naman natin, no? Kasi kung titignan natin, yung area dito, kahit saan dyan, will be constant. Okay? However, yung point na yung actual force daw ay kailangan constant. So, pag sinabi natin na constant, ibig sabihin hindi nagbabago ng value. So, well, you might think no na yung force acting on this entire bar is the same and that is P, no? But you are wrong. You can prove that by method of section, no? If you would apply method of section in this segment, you will see that iba yung internal force acting para naman sa segment na to. Okay? Kasi sa segment na to, no, iba yung forces na involved. Okay? So R1 tsaka P yung involved dun sa endpoints ng segment. Dito naman sa segment na to, iba rin yung forces na involved dun sa endpoints siya. Dito P, dito R2. Okay? And kapag ganon, kailangan natin i-analyze kada segment kasi magkaiba yung actual force sa kada segment na yon. Okay? So what we would do is I would cut here, method of section. Kapag kinat natin, in-isolate natin yung kaliwa, ito yung makikita natin. Okay? Tapos meron ditong reaction R1. So ngayon, yung actual force acting on this member is kung ano man yung lilitaw dito na internal reaction, which is in this case, no? Tatawagin na lang natin ito na ano ha, na P sa segment 1 sa kaliwa. That will be equal to R1. Okay? And that will be under tension. Alright? Now, if I would also do the same, kapag nag-cut naman tayo somewhere dito sa segment na to, okay, tapos in-isolate ulit natin yung nasa kaliwa, may kita rin natin, klarong-klaro, na iba rin yung internal force acting there. So again, this is R1. Okay? Tapos meron ditong P. Okay? And therefore, makukuha natin ngayon dito na merong reaction doon sa kanan. And the reaction on the other side should be, let's say, ganito. Okay? So kapag ganyan, I'm assuming na R1 is greater than P. No? So anyway, tawagin natin na P2. Okay, and that is equal to, kapag nag-summation tayo ng forces, R1 to the left minus P. No? Okay? So by the way, this is assuming, no, assuming yung R1 natin ay mas malaki sa P. Okay, but let's say you want it the other way around. Let's say ang ina-assume mo ay baliktad. Gusto mo yung P mas malaki sa R. Okay lang din yun, no? It doesn't, mamaya naman, may verify natin yung ganong scenario. Okay? Anyway, kapag ginawa natin yan, so it turns out that dapat daw yung deformation. So, ibig sabihin, ito may sarili ng deformation. Ito rin may sarili siyang deformation. At yung mga internal axial forces natin ay magkaiba. Ito para sa unang segment at ito naman para doon sa pangalawang segment. Okay? So, to calculate this, dito na lang ako magtutuloy. So, the deformation for segment 1, so tawagin natin ito segment 1 ha. Tapos tawagin natin itong segment 2. Okay? So, dapat daw, the deformation, ito na lang, para kita natin. So the deformation in segment 1 plus the deformation in segment 2 must be 0. Okay, the total must be 0. So anyway, the deformation in segment 1 is PL over AE. Pero yung P natin is R1. PL. So yung L natin para kay segment 1 is itong A na to. Yun lang yung length niya. Over AE. Okay, plus yung deformation naman sa segment 2 would be yung P natin, ito, R1 minus P. Tapos yung L natin para kay segment 2, ito, over AE is equal to 0. Okay? And dito, we can cancel out AE and we are left with R1A is equal to, plus, okay, plus R1 minus P times B. Okay? So, mag-reduce sa ganito yung equation natin. So, ngayon, kapag dinistribute natin yung B, magiging R1A plus R1B minus P times B is equal to 0. So from here, we can solve for R1. R1 would be A plus B pagka finactor out. Tapos itong PB, lipat natin sa kabila. And from here, we can solve for R1 to be PB over A plus B. So yun ngayon yung magiging reaction natin. So in the choices, mapapansin natin na ang sinulat niya in terms of L. Okay, note that yung A plus B ay equal dun sa total length. So therefore, R1 can be calculated as PB over L. So ito ngayon yung formula para dun sa computation ng reaction on the left side. So, ito yun. So, the correct answer here is letter D. Okay? Now, just to verify if we have the correct assumption here, so balikan lang natin itong equation na to. So, 'di ba dito na lang. 'Di ba lumalabas ngayon na yung base sa ano natin, base dito sa assumption natin na to. So, siguro lagyan natin. Okay, so 'di ba based on this assumption, okay, so we can solve for P2, no? P2. So P2 is equal to R1 minus, by the way, R1 natin will become PB over L minus P. Okay? Tapos, derive lang natin ulit. Ito ay PB minus P times L over L. Okay? And note that yung L ulit natin ay A plus B. So, pag sinabshoot natin doon, magiging PB minus P times A plus B over L. Okay? And kapag dinistribute natin, magiging PB minus PA minus PB over L. Okay? And magka-cancel ito. So may iwan na sa atin na P2 would be negative PA over L. So the negative sign here indicates that we have incorrect assumption. Okay, so ano dapat yung tamang assumption? So ito kasi inassume natin eh. So ibig sabihin pala tama, no? Ang tama ay yung P mas malaki sa R1. Which is dapat lang, no? Kasi yun yung in-apply natin na force eh. And ang idea talaga diyan, etong R1 tsaka R2 na to, sila yung magtutulungan para makontra itong P na to. Okay? Kaya ibig sabihin, dapat pala ito ay baliktad. Dapat pala ito ay compression. Kaya ito kasi in-assume natin na tension siya. Okay, pero okay na yun. Tama naman to mga to, no? Kasi kapag nagsosolve tayo ng ganyan, let's say may mga numbers yan, lalabas lang naman doon sa sagot mo is magne-negative. Ibig sabihin lang, mali yung or baliktad yung assumption mo sa part na to. Okay? So, anyway, ito na yung sagot natin dyan. And gusto ko lang din banggitin na, di ba, yung P2 na to will just be equal to R2 kapag dito ka naman sa kabilang side nakatingin. So, yung internal force ito ay equal lang sa R2. Kaya dito actually, madederive mo kung ano yung R2. Kaya galing dito. Okay, so lalabas dito na yung R2. Kapag sinabshoot natin yung PB over L. So, hindi ko napapakita, no? Pag sinimplify mo yan, magiging PA over L. So, ito naman yung magiging computation natin sa reaction sa kabilang side. Okay? So anyway, that's for number one. For number two, in figure B, calculate the reaction at A. Okay, so dito. Kunin na natin to, baka hindi na kasi kasya. Na lang tayo mag-solve. So dito naman, as we can see, we just need to solve for so given nga pala yung mga forces. Yung P1 ay 20, yung P2 ay 60. Tapos given yung cross-sectional area. Okay, so now, um, to calculate for the reaction, to calculate for the, ano ba kailangan? Reactions lang, no? Yung mga reaction. So, parang ganito ulit yung gagawin natin na approach. Okay? So, ganyan ulit yung apply natin na approach. So, therefore, meron ditong reaction. So, o nga pala, tingnan nyo. Yung P dito, ang direction to the right, parehas. Okay? So, dahil to the right parehas, it's safe to assume na dapat to the left yung mga reactions natin. Okay, ito yung R1, ito naman yung R2. Okay? So, to calculate for those, ganun ulit, you have to apply method of section. Kapag nag-method of section ka dito, ang lalabas ngayon na itsura ng shape sa left side ay ganito. So, meron kang R1. So, ibig sabihin, for segment AB, yung force natin will be tension, and that would be equal to R1. Kapag nag-method of section naman tayo para sa section BC, ayan, so ito yung R1 natin. Tapos meron ditong P1 na 20. Okay? Tapos dito, ito, ulit, no? I'll assume, no? Assuming that R1 is greater than 20. So kung mas malaki to, ang pangontra mo dito to the right, no? Kung mas malaki ito, kasi pag sinubtract mo tong dalawa, ang matitira na net force papunta doon, di ba? Ang resultant net force papunta doon. Kung mas malaki to, based on my assumption. So dapat, yung internal force dito is kukontrahin yun. So dapat maging to the right siya. Kung baliktad naman ang assumption mo, kunwari, mas malaki yung 20 kesa kay R1, so kapag pinag-minus natin tong dalawa, ang magiging net force naman dito papunta. Kaya yung magiging internal force natin dito dapat papunta naman doon sa object. Okay, kaya importante tong part na to doon sa mga bandang gitna. No? Kasi kapag hindi mo to sinabi, medyo malilito ka pagdating doon sa final answers or final computations mo kasi you don't know what negative means or what you don't know what positive means. Okay? So anyway, pagdating dito, ang force sa segment BC ay dapat equal sa R1 minus 20. Again, assuming mas malaki yung R1. Okay? And then, lastly, kapag nag-cut naman tayo sa segment na to, so hindi ko na lang i-involve yung reaction sa right side para puro na lang tayo nasa left side. So once again, may 20 dyan. Meron ditong reaction R1. Tapos meron ditong force na 60. Ayan. Tapos kapag in-add natin yung 20 and 60, 80 na to the right. So dito, assume ulit tayo. Assume yung R1 mas mababa sa 80. No, assume lang natin yun. So kapag mas mababa ito sa 80, so ang mag-govern na direction is pa-right. Kasi 80 tong dalawa pa-right eh. In-assume natin na mas mababa to. So pag binaynos mo, ito yung matitira. No? So dahil yan yung matitira, ang magiging resistance dito dapat pa left. So ito naman yung magiging force sa CD. And that is equal to 80 minus R1. Okay? So with this, we can now proceed with our computation. So first, according to our equilibrium condition, kapag nag-summation of forces tayo, R1 plus R2 would be equal to 80. Okay, and then applyan ulit natin ang compatibility. No? So sa compatibility naman, ito sa equilibrium galing. Sa compatibility naman, dapat yung total deformation niyan ay equal to 0. So yung deformation sa AB plus yung deformation sa BC plus yung deformation sa CD ay dapat equal sa 0. Now, take note, mapapansin natin na yung, syempre, hindi natin kailangan i-neglect yung idea na merong ibang deformation dyan ay elongation, meron namang iba na shortening or contraction. So, papapansin nyo, itong force na to is under tension. So, tension to. Ito namang force na to, sa assumption natin, tension din siya. And lastly, itong force na to sa assumption natin ay compression. So, ibig sabihin, ito ay positive, pero ito ay negative. Okay? So, again, PL over AE. Yung P natin dito sa una is R1. Yung L natin is 600 millimeters over A. Total, parehas lang naman sila ng A tsaka E. Lagay ko na lang muna AE. No? Magka-cancel lang yan mamaya. Plus, yung internal force dito ay R1 minus 20. Ang L niyan ay 1,200 mm over AE. And then minus, ito namang deformation sa C, ito yung P niya, 80 minus R1 times 900 over AE. All equal to 0. Cancel lang lahat ng AE. And from here, we should be able to solve for R1. Okay, yung key kasi para masagot natin, yun kasi yung tinatanong ano yung reaction doon sa A. So, masasolve na natin. Okay, so we have R1 times 600 plus R1 minus 20 times 1,200 minus 80 times 900. All equal to 0. Okay, so our R1 will be 35.56. Ayan, so yun yung sagot natin for number 2. Okay? So, before I proceed, meron lang akong gusto ipakita na ibang solution dito. Okay? Actually, itong solution na to, itong problem na to, kaya sinama dito yung figure 1, it's because pwede natin yun gamitin. No? Pwede natin gamitin yung idea ng question number 1. So, di ba yung question number 1, we were able to derive a formula on how to calculate the reaction no ng force, ng reaction sa walls nitong bar na meron kang single force na naka-apply. So, ngayon, yung formula na yon ito, PB over L. So, ibig sabihin, yung in-apply na force times yung B, which is yung, kung ito yung hinahanap mo na reaction, yung length dapat sa kabilang wall. Yung distance dapat ng force sa kabilang wall. Tas over the total length. No? So, yun yung magiging reaction. So, ang problema lang kasi dito sa problem na to, sa problem or sa figure B, dalawa yung force na naka-apply. Pero actually, pa pwede natin gamitin yung formula na yon. Ito. Okay, to solve for R1, no? So alternatively, okay, we can solve this by superposition method. Kumbaga technique lang ito. Kung halimbawa na meron ka ng formula. By superposition kasi etong bar na to, okay, pwede mong paghatiin. Okay, so 'di ba meron ditong 20 kilonewton? Ayan. Tapos meron ditong yung sukat na to ay 0.6. Tapos sa kabila, 1.2 plus 0.9, that's 2.1. Diba? Okay, tapos yung isa naman na force, ihiwalay natin. Ayan, hiwalay natin. Nandito naman yung 60. Tapos ang sukat nito ay, ilan yun? 0.6 plus 1.2, so 1.8. Tapos ito, 0.9. Okay? So, bali ganito. Pag pinagsama natin yung dalawa, equal lang yan dun sa given. Equal lang yan dito. Diba? Equal lang yan dyan. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, ganito. Since meron tayong formula to solve for the reaction na pang individual force lang, so makukuha mo yung reaction dito, no? So, yung reaction dito, okay, paano ba? R1A. Kanyari, R1A. So, yung R1A na yan, pwede natin ma-solve gamit yung formula. So, R1A equals P B, yung B natin, itong nasa kabila, di ba? Kasi ito yung formula, oh. PB over L, di ba? So yung B natin, ito nasa kanan, yung 2.1 over, siguro, gamit ako ibang kulay para makita kapag nire-review. So, ito na lang. Red na lang. So yung R1A natin, which is ito, reaction sa left, will be 20 times B na 2.1 over yung total length nga pala natin dito ay 2.7. So lalabas dito na value 20 times 2.1 over, ay, ano ba yun? Tama, 20 times 2 over 2.7. 2.7. So that gives us 15.56. Ay, sorry, 15.56. Okay, so yan ngayon yung reaction dito. Gawa lang nung 20 kilonewton. Ngayon, we can also calculate the same reaction, R1B naman, due to the 60 kilonewton. So, applying the same formula. So, that is 60. Tapos yung B natin, ito naman, 0.9. Tapos yung L natin, ganoon pa rin, 2.7. So, that gives us, gawin natin itong 60. Tapos gawin natin itong 0.9. So, malalabas is 20. Ang idea, kapag pinagsama natin yung dalawa, yun din yung magiging total reaction dito na R1. So yung R1 na yun ay R1A plus R1B, which is also this one. Okay? So yan yung concept ng superposition. Lalo na at meron naman tayong formula na nag-derive. So yun yung purpose no, no? Kung halimbawa na ganito yung style ng pagkaka-question sa inyo. Okay? But anyway, of course, kung alam mo naman yung concept, kahit hindi mo gamitan ng superposition, you can still get the correct answer kagaya ng ginawa natin dito. No? Yun nga lang, kung na-identify mo naman na po pwede yun, medyo shortcut siya. Total, ginawa mo na to kanina eh. Ginawa mo na to kanina eh, yung ganitong computation. Okay? So yun, no? I just want you to realize na po pwede yun. Okay, and then finally sa figure B daw, dito daw, what is the maximum axial stress in the rod? So ano daw yung maximum axial stress? So dito mag-iingat ulit tayo ha. Baka kasi isipin nyo, axial stress, force over area lang. Tapos baka isipin nyo na yung force dito 20, yung force dito 60. Mas malaki dito. Parang ganon, no? So ang gagamitin nyo ngayon, 60 over yung binigay na area. So mali yun, no? Mali yun. Hindi pa pwede yun. Kasi kapag po nagko-compute tayo ng stress, tatandaan natin, no? Tatandaan natin yung force over area. Tatandaan natin na ito ay internal force. Okay, over area or resisting area. Okay, internal to, no? Internal. So, etong nakikita natin dito na mga forces, dito na lang. Yung mga nakikita natin na yan, external forces yan. Okay, hindi yan yung force na nagagamitin mo dun sa P over A. Alright? So, therefore, ganito. Total, nandito na tayo sa stage na to na kung saan nakuha na natin yung reaction. So, we will be able to identify kung ano yung internal force sa segment AB, ano yung internal force sa segment BC, and sa CD. Tapos, we can just compare kung alin yung pinakamalaki. Total, they have the same area naman. So, ganun yung gagawin natin. So, dito sa force sa AB, sabi natin, equal siya sa R1 at yung R1 nga ay 35.56 kilonewtons. Dito naman sa force BC, okay, bago ang lahat, gusto ko lang banggitin no, na if by evaluating, di ba yung R1 natin 35? Tama, no? Itong assumption na to. Tama itong assumption na to. So, mas malaki yung R1 kesa kay 20. At dahil tama yun, tama itong direction na to. Okay, kung sakali na mali yung assumption mo, okay lang. Yun pa rin yung value ng R1. Yun nga lang, yung direction nito, kailangan mo nang baliktarin. And importante ulit yun para ma-identify kung under tension ba siya or compression. Baka kasi kailangan mong i-identify kung tension ba or compression. Okay, pero dahil tama tayo, sure na ngayon na itong segment BC ay under tension. At ang value nun is 35.56 minus 20, that gives us 15.56. And lastly, gusto ko lang din ulit banggitin na yung assumption natin dito ay tama ulit. Kasi yung R1 natin 35 lang at mas mababa yun sa 80. So ibig sabihin tama ulit itong inassume natin na direction ni CD. So ibig sabihin itong segment CD is under compression. So and then yung force natin sa CD ay 80 minus R1. Ano yun? 80 minus R1. That gives us 44.44. Ayan. So, ngayon, obviously, sa tatlong to, ang pinakamalaki na internal force is itong 44. So, ibig sabihin, dito sa segment na to, magaganap yung maximum axial stress. Okay? So, therefore, we can now calculate, no, for number 3. So, the maximum axial stress is found at segment CD. And that is 44.44. Okay, kilonewton yan. So, gawin natin Newton para megapascal yung sagot. Over area na 600. And that gives us, okay, so 74.07 megapascal. Okay, and gusto ko na lang din banggitin na this is under compression. Okay, so dun sa tanong, wala naman siyang in-specify kung anong klaseng axial stress. Sinabi niya lang axial stress. So, kukunin lang natin yung pinakamalaki. Pero kung sakali, ang sinabi niya, what is the maximum compressive stress? Ito pa rin yung sagot natin. Pero kung ang tinanong niya na, what is the maximum tensile stress? Balik tayo dito. Etong sinagot natin na 74, hindi yan yung sagot kasi compression yan. So, nasaan yung maximum tensile? So, ito parehas tension. At ang mas malaki ay ito. So, ang tamang sagot kung sakali ng tinatanong ay maximum tensile stress is ito. 59.27. Okay, 59 dapat. Kung in-specify na maximum tensile stress ang tinatanong. Okay? But because sinabi niya lang naman what is the maximum axial stress, ibig sabihin it could be either compression or tension kasi ang axial, di ba? It could either be tension or compression. So, hahanapin lang natin yung pinakamalaking absolute value. And that's how we solve this problem. Any questions?